Hi everyone, welcome back. It's me, the Melanated Mom. Thank you so much for joining me today. It's been a long time since I've posted, but I have a very exciting video in store for you, looking at the Pat McGrath holiday collection for this year, Celestial Odyssey, as well as the Mothership one, and giving you a little update on what I've been up to lately. So please stay tuned. The first color that I'm going in with today is the Ultimate Taupe, and I'm just using a blending brush with that, just kind of applying to my lid, both on the outer corner and inner corner, and just kind of diffusing out. Ultimate Taupe is one of my favorite shades to just throw on the lid. It's such a nice natural color, even for a kind of busy off to work one shadow day. Like, this is something to just kind of freshen up your eyes a little bit. When I'm doing my eyeshadow looks, I tend to blend a lot. Right now I'm going in with depth, and I'm just tracing the outline of my eye socket. I'm not too worried about the shape. I do want it to be even, but I'm not doing a graphic liner look, so it's not important that it be perfectly straight. Although one tip with that type of look is you can always go in with concealer and clean things up. I know I'm not good at drawing lines perfectly straight and perfectly even yet, but I do love that concealer can help me fix any mistakes that I make. And let me know too in the comments if you guys would like to see some graphic liner looks from me. And as always with Pat McGrath, the shadow quality is amazing, both with the mattes and the shimmers. I know most people buy her palettes for the shimmers, but I have to say the mattes really are wonderful as well. Next, I'm taking a flat brush and I'm going in with Lilac Dust. This color looks a lot more purple to me in the pan, but when it applies on the eye, it really does show up deeper, and it has more of a gray tone to it than a purple tone in my opinion. So even though it looks in the pan and in the photo on the website like something you would put in the center of your lid, I think that unless you were doing something smoky, it would be too dark. The next shade that I'm going in with is Lunar Haze, and this is from the new Celestial Odyssey palette, the holiday release for 2021. Overall, this palette has a lot of shimmer shades in it, and really not very much in terms of mattes, and the mattes that are in there are a little warm toned, so if you're doing some other looks, you may have to reach for another palette to help you out with mattes. After I placed the Lunar Haze and Lilac Dust, I really found myself needing a mid-tone shade and not really seeing what I was looking for in the Mothership palette or Celestial Odyssey, so I just reached for my Viseart Cool Mattes 2 and mixed those two top purple shades together. So while I'm doing this, let me catch you up a little bit on what's been going on with me. So I recently moved. My spouse and I finally bought our first home, which we're so excited about. Our kids love it. We have so much more space. It's so comfortable. You know, the process was really hard to go through. We're first-time home buyers in this pandemic market, so we faced a lot of frustration in the process. It took us about 3 months to actually get the home that we were looking for, which is really good. I've heard some people having to wait even longer, but we had an awesome realtor. She's actually the broker at her firm. I met her a few years ago at a work event, and she was so diligent and so patient with us, so I could do nothing but like shout her out and show her love. Now I'm going in with both depth and extreme black. I usually tap my brush very lightly into extreme black, and this color does repeat in more than one of her eyeshadow palettes, but one thing that I really enjoy about this matte black shade is that it really does build up. You can add just a little bit to just kind of add dimension to your color, or you can add more and then you really start to see that black color come through. I took a little moment to just showcase this because this really could be a look all by itself. Like, this is a great daytime look once you throw your mascara and your liner on. This is really nice, and it just punched it up a step further from where we had it before. I'm going in now with just a blending brush. I always like to go over my looks and blend really well, just to go over on the end and make sure that all the colors are really just married together. I'm going in with depth on the lower lash line and really just focusing on the outer portion of the lower lash line and blending it in more towards the middle, cleaning up with some concealer here. And I did also take a moment to add some of that Astra shade to my lid, cleaning up the brows some. And that's just a great daytime look. Now this is when I really start to punch things up. So this is a video that I took, a little selfie video I took, just showing those colors when I added that blue shade from the Mothership 1 palette and did a dramatic wing look with it. And that just adds so much smoky sexiness already. Okay, Tatcha Silk Canvas Putty. This primer I like. I've been using it for about a month now. Prior to this, I was using the liquid silk canvas. The difference between the two is the liquid silk canvas goes on a lot more sheer in my opinion. I did also use quite a bit, but I like this one because it has really good sticking ability. It doesn't go on sheer, so you notice it does leave a little bit of a white cast on my skin, similar to applying a sunscreen. But really, if you just take your time and blend it out, then it really does kind of become negligible, and it doesn't affect the makeup application too much. And when I applied my primer, I did also mix in some of that Cover FX Dewy setting spray. I sprayed it onto my brush just to kind of give me a little bit more glide while I was blending that in, and to make sure that it didn't make my skin too matte, because that is one thing I've noticed about the Tatcha Silk Canvas, is that it can be a little drying, especially in these winter months. As you know, I love a good Juvia's Place foundation stick, and they're so affordable that there's really no reason to not have a few different shades to choose from. I go in with the darkest of my shades first, and I just start to apply, and I love that this is more of a cool tone shade. The three shades that I have are Zambia, Abidjan, and Namibia. So I usually go in with about 2 of these shades depending on how I'm feeling. For winter months, I definitely try to stick to the little cooler tone shades because I notice that my skin tone becomes more cool tones in the winter. It's, you know, pretty neutral year round, but it leans a lot more towards cool in the winter time. So the shade that I'm actually using first is Namibia. I use my trusty Pat McGrath blending brush, going back in under my eyes with the Cover FX Cream Cover Foundation. I have N50 and N60. I don't apply concealer with this foundation, but I do like to apply N50 closer to my eyes and N60 for the rest of my face. When it gets to be January and February, my skin tone is actually a lot closer to N50. But like I said, with this, I don't apply any concealer to brighten or under the eyes. I don't like how it sits on top of this foundation, so I'd rather go a little bit lighter with concealer and then apply darker shades to warm up the rest of my face and just leave the center of my face alone. That way I don't have to worry about having too much product. I don't have to worry about creasing. I'm just good with this full coverage foundation that gives me everything that I need for the center of my face and darken up the other areas, which I'm going to also apply powder to regardless. I have some really good news to share with you guys too. My recovery from my postpartum depression is going really well. I feel like I've gotten some good help. I found a really good nurse practitioner who I see for medication management, as well as a therapist, and I was fortunate enough to be able to find a Black woman for my therapist and for my nurse practitioner. Not saying that there's anything wrong with having any other type of practitioner or healthcare professional, but it's nice to have someone who looks like you and who you feel like you can really relate to when you're in a very vulnerable situation, such as dealing with a mental health issue. So yeah, I would recommend to just get someone that you feel comfortable with regarding who you're seeing for your healthcare. Okay, so Pat McGrath powders. These are both really awesome. I absolutely love the under eye powder. It's very smoothing, very blurring, and you can see the difference even in real life. Everything looks great on camera, but the under eye powder is actually really beautiful in person as well. And for the overall face powder, I use shade 3. That powder is very smooth, very soft, very finely milled, and it blends together very well with any other powders that you're using on your face. And with the Cover FX Cream Cover Foundation, I love using powders on top of that. Powders work so well with these foundations. They just melt in like butter. As you see here, I'm continuing to blend. For me, that really is one of the most important steps, is really with everything that you're doing, just blend, blend, blend until everything looks seamless and second skin. I'm not really one to leave those harsh lines. It just doesn't suit me personally. So going in with my second blush, this is the Surrat Beauty, and the shade here is Cantaloupe. Having a little moment. So you see we've got a nice evening look coming together. The look has gotten so much more smoky, so much more dramatic than we started out with. And going in with this Pat McGrath highlighter, this I absolutely love. It really is a highlighter that builds up. If you're looking for something that's straight out of the pan, is going to give you a lot of glitter, a lot of shine, and this probably isn't the highlighter for you, but I absolutely love it because for me it fills that spot of almost like a balm. It gives the skin more of a nice kind of glow and sheen than a glittery look, and you can build it up, but what I like to do is actually just layer something that is a little bit more dramatic on top of it. So I use this Ofra highlighter, and I always use the pink shade. I absolutely love it. And I also added some of the LYS Beauty lip oil. And don't mind my hair, it was the day before my appointment, so yeah, just ignore that. Make sure you comment to let me know what other videos you would like to see from me, and subscribe if you'd like to. I'm going to try to post more regularly. I have a little bit more time. Things have settled down a little bit in my life, so hopefully I'll be able to share more content with you guys. Thank you so much for enjoying me today, and have an absolutely fabulous, wonderful day. Until next time, bye-bye.